The basement is cold tonight, colder than usual. The single light bulb swings gently overhead, casting long shadows across these concrete walls. My sanctuary, my workshop, confession booth. They brought me to the station again today. Detective Raymond, with his tired eyes and coffee-stained tie. The man interrogated me for hours in that cramped room that smelled of cheap disinfectant and cheaper cologne. He wanted me to tell him everything from the beginning. My version. No interruptions. As if I haven't told this story 1,000 times before. As if the words haven't been carved into my soul. But I told him again. For Jane. Everything I've done has been for Jane. My daughter needed help, you see. That's where it all began. Jane was never the type to ask for assistance. Fiercely independent, that girl. When the doctors claimed she couldn't be saved, I refused to believe them. What do they know? They don't know Jane like I do. So I brought her home, and she spoke to me. Asked me to make her whole again, to reunite her fragmented body so she could move, breathe, be herself again. What father would refuse such a request? I promised to make everything better. That night I descended into this basement, fumbling through pitch darkness until my hand found the light switch. And there she was, my beautiful Jane. Or what remained of her. Just her head, attached to what was left of her skeletal frame. Her voice, and so small, so hopeful, asked if tonight was the time. Yes, I told her. But we can't rush. Everything must be perfect. She complained of pain, constant, unrelenting pain. I tried to comfort her, but she kept insisting she wanted to run again, to breathe properly, to embrace me like she used to. So I made a promise I would bring her a beautiful body. I picked up my syringe and scalpel, determined to fulfill that promise. Jane wanted something elegant, strong but not bulky. I had initially planned to wait until her own body recovered strength, but her suffering was unbearable to witness. So I decided to procure a human form that matched her specifications. I drove to the outskirts of town, to those neglected streets where women sell themselves for survival. In my mind, they were already damaged, discarded by society. No one would miss them. While my Jane deserved beauty again. The streets were lined with them, each stationed at their regular spots. After circling and formulating a plan, I approached a woman in a pink dress. I told her it was my first time there. She believed me. I convinced her to follow me into a dark alley. Before proceeding, I asked her why she did this work. She seemed confused by my question. Apparently, her previous clients never bothered with conversation. But she answered anyway. Her story poured out like blood from a fresh wound. A 7-year-old son to support, a husband who abandoned them to financial ruin. What started as a one-time desperate measure to cover a month's expenses had become a year-long nightmare. I hesitated. My hand hovered over the syringe in my pocket, but then Jane's voice cut through my moment of compassion, reminding me of my promise. "You're right," I muttered, nodding to myself. The woman's face contorted with confusion at my self-dialogue. Before she could process what was happening, the needle found her neck. Her eyes widened, then dimmed as her body went limp. The surgical blade made quick work. I wrapped her body in black garbage bags to conceal it from prying eyes and returned home with my acquisition. I told Detective Raymond the sedative was mercy. I'm not a cruel man. I took that woman's body to repair something precious to me. When he showed me the photograph of loose sutures on flesh, I simply explained that sewing tissue isn't easy. Sometimes pieces resist joining. Everything I did was to give Jane another chance at mobility after months of immobility. Back in the basement, with the newly acquired body attached to Jane's head, she felt warmth in her chest for the first time in ages. But she wasn't complete yet. She wanted long, gentle hands. Hands that could hold objects and draw like she used to. How could I deny her? I grabbed a bone saw and went hunting again. That night stretched endlessly as I searched for the perfect pair of hands. As dawn approached, desperation set in. I couldn't disappoint Jane. I spotted a homeless man whose hands, while not ideal, would have to suffice. I found him in a district crawling with thugs. Approaching him, I offered shelter and a hot shower. The gratitude in his eyes was palpable. Kindness being so rare in his experience, he followed me home willingly. While he showered, I prepared chicken soup laced with sleeping pills. He ate ravenously, thanking me repeatedly for a generosity he rarely encountered. Mid-sentence, his eyelids grew heavy. He slumped forward onto the table. I positioned his unconscious form on my table and extracted both hands with my bone saw. Another gift for Jane. Detective Raymond interrupted my narrative to show me a photograph of the homeless man's severed hands, mangled, destroyed. I couldn't bear to look. I admitted the bone saw was the wrong tool for the job. When I returned to the basement, another figure was there making unintelligible sounds. With the lights on, I could see Jane now had a body and 2 long arms. She was delighted, calling them perfect, light hands, but to be truly complete, she needed strong legs, strong enough to run fast again. I took an axe and left. The jogging path near the forest seemed the logical place. Sure enough, I spotted a woman with remarkably healthy, powerful legs. I followed her, crafting a desperate persona, claiming my daughter had been in a car accident, trapped in the vehicle with broken legs and neck. My performance was convincing, but when she reached for her phone to call an ambulance, I quickly intervened, insisting there was no signal. I urged her to follow me into the forest. Suspicion crept into her eyes. She tried to call for help, but I blocked her path. In that moment, realization dawned on her face. She bolted into the dense foliage. I had no choice but to pursue. Then came a scream. She had fallen, severely injuring her leg. I felt rage surge through me. Her legs were no longer perfect. After venting my frustration, I calmed myself. Imperfect legs were better than no legs at all. I brought down the axe. Her screams echoed through the forest until unconsciousness mercied her. Praying no one heard her cries, I took my final gift home to Jane. When I recounted this to Detective Raymond, I could see my victim standing behind him. I admitted my disappointment at not securing perfect legs. The detective asked if Jane would be proud of me. Without hesitation, I assured him she already was. He fell silent, asking me to continue. Jane was complete, whole. She was ecstatic, feeling all her body parts again. Her gratitude overflowed, but our happiness was short-lived. Police sirens wailed outside. Knowing I was wanted, I bid Jane farewell, promising to find a way for us to be together again. That was 3 weeks ago. Detective Raymond asked if I felt remorse. I was genuinely confused. Why would I regret saving my daughter's life? Then he mentioned something about people in vegetative states feeling pain. He revealed that when they found Jane, she was still alive but completely unresponsive. A vegetative state where she showed no signs of consciousness. I didn't respond. Instead, I pointed to one of the photos on the table, expressing my desire to see it. Detective Raymond made a deal: show me the photo and I'd reveal the location of Jane's original body. I agreed. He showed me the photo of Jane, complete with sutured body, hands, and legs taken from others. She was beautiful. I told him so. I assured him we'd be reunited soon. You know what the most terrible part is? According to the detective, Jane's brain was still alive, in a vegetative state, feeling pain, constant, excruciating pain, as I tried to make her perfect again. But I don't regret it, not for a second. Everything I did was to save Jane. I'll see you soon, my beautiful girl. Daddy's coming home.